He's like, put them things away.
What up, it's your Timmy's here. Now, since it's American, here's my review for the 10th Stallone film doing a review for, underrated action film of his, and that is Escape Plan. Now, of course, obviously, two of the biggest action stars of all time were from the 80s. Obviously, was always Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. So it was insane to understand that the first time they've really done a movie together was obviously The Expendables. But Arnold was barely in those Expendables movies. To be honest, like he had like some screen time, but and they did share some screen time too. But Arnold didn't really like. It wasn't much of screen time here. But in 2013, both Arnold and Stallone both teamed up for a really fun action movie set in a prison, which I guess you could consider Die Hard in a prison, really, which is the 2013 film Escape Plan. Now, this movie was directed by Michael Hofstrom and stars Stallone, who plays Ray Breslin, who knows how to like infiltrate and and of course his last job leads like a double cross, leaving him stuck in this high tech facility with the worst that society has to offer. And he has a meeting Amel Rotmer, played by Arnold, who's this inmate who also secretly helps him to hatch a plot to win his freedom. And you've got Warden Haas, played by Jesus Christ himself, Jim Caviezel, who ends up staying in the way of the shipment successfully and trying and of course Stallone and are both trying to make it out alive here. Escape Plan, man, this movie should have done much better at the box office. By the way, I mean you literally got a movie starring both Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, and you're never gonna guess how much this thing even made. It This film literally made about 137.3 million at the time. Yeah, I mean, I remember when this thing got released. I of course saw it in theaters at the time back in October 2013. I had a fun time with this. I mean, it's such a shame that movie with that starred both Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was pretty big at the time. Such a shame this which was also a big deal at the time. Such a shame this movie did not do much better. I mean, yeah, that this year really was not the great year for both Stallone and Arnold. Of course, like in January did that movie, The Last Stand. That movie flopped. Stallone did Bullet to the Head. That flopped. And of course, they both done a movie together, which was Escape Plan, and this flopped. So, yeah, it's just a shame that at the time it really showed that like Arnold and Stallone were not the box office draws as they used to been, in the 80s, 70s, 90s, and stuff, which is still disappointing. But hey, Escape Plan did, of course, warrant a couple of sequels, but the sequels were all that great. But the first Escape Plan, fun film. I mean, you also had some other really cool cast members who popped up too. Like some of the other cast members included Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Sam Neill, Vinnie Jones, Vincent D'Onofrio, Amy Ryan was. Yeah, talk about really cool casts here. The action is really cool. The dynamic chemistry between Stallone and Arnold is just spot on. It is crazy to believe that they did not like. It is crazy to believe they waited this long to even do a film together. I mean, they were like two of the biggest action stars of the 80s and all 90s, and saying that they like did not even do a movie together since Expendables is still crazy to believe. But Escape Plan is still a really fun film to check out. I mean, Stallone and on. I really hope they do another film together because those two just they have great chemistry here. Just hearing Arnold's like Austrian accent with Stallone's New York based accent, it's just super fun to hear here. The like I said, the villain is great. The action is terrific. I mean, this is such an underrated film. I mean, the movie also did not really do great with critics either. It only made like it only has a 50%, which is disappointing. But yeah, it is what I guess. But if you guys have never really seen the first Escape Plan, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It is a fun gem. I mean, it's not a great film. It's like not one of the best action movies of all time, nothing like that. But the movie really does feel like classic '80s action film. And I mean, if you love good old '80s style action films, you'll definitely I mean, this movie feels like everything. It feels like Die Hard. It feels like The Rock in a weird way. It feels like Escape to New York. I mean, it really feels like those type of classic '80s style movies, action movies no one loves. So definitely give Escape Plan a go. Anyway, let me let you guys. Have you ever seen the Stallone and Schwarzenegger film Escape Plan? If so, what star were you a fan of? Were you not a fan of it? Favorite scenes, favorite moments? Would you love to see Stallone and Schwarzenegger team up again one of these days? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simmer signing out.